Imagine if the universe was one single ring. One object, extremely large and extremely thin piece of filament. On this filament, light waves or torque waves were moving along. So when two photons, light photons, what we call torque waves, meet, they create a loop. Like, for example, here I'm going to draw a loop. Under the right conditions, when the tension is correct and two torque waves move, when you, for example, twist an elastic band, you get a small loop. It's the same thing here. Okay, so this round shape starts crumbling in on itself, because these small loops make the whole thing move, rotate, and bunch up. So after a while, the loop is going to have a weird shape, and some areas are going to rotate more than others, starting to pull in string, and we call these areas for galaxies. It's still one single piece of string. It just has some pattern to it. So these are the galaxies. We know from observations that galaxies have spiral arms, and spiral arms will be created automatically when a galaxy starts rotating and pulling in string. It's going to create these spiral arms. Okay, so let's look closer at a galaxy. So we have the core of the galaxy here that is really, really extremely hot. And then we have spiral arms extending into the rest of the universe. It's still one single filament. So after a while, we're going to get a really hot or tangled mess in here. And we're going to have also small clumps forming around this filament wire. And that will be solar systems. Solar systems forming in the galaxy. And then let's look at a solar system. Here we have the sun. It is drawing in filament wire. From the bottom and the top when it's rotating this direction here. At the end of these shapes form, and sometimes even shapes form here. So these are planets, and this is our sun. And if we look at it from the side, this is the sun, and these filament wires coming up here and then going to the planets in this fashion. planets are rotating around this point here, and also around itself, like that. And that is going to make gravity on the planet. The sun rotates around itself here, and also the galaxy, it rotates like this, so it also has gravity all around, while still connected to the galaxy using these filament wires. So it's connected to the galaxy like this way. And inside, let's look at the Earth Moon thing here. So here we have the Earth, here we have the Moon. So the Earth is connected using filament wires that goes to the Sun. It's rotating like this and like this around this axis and around this axis. It has filament wires going up here. Through the Moon, which is also rotating around the Earth. Inside, the filament wires move in an interesting way. They're going to enter and then bend and we're going to make this shape here. So actually the surface of the Earth is in here. This will be the equator. And here we have the North and the South Pole. Here and here. And we are moving on the surface here. And when sun waves or torque waves from the sun arrive, they go like this in here, and then they go all the way like this, and they come here. So that's why we have light inside the Earth, even though we are surrounded by filament wire. Okay, let's look closer at these loops. So the simplest loop we can make is this one. It's basically what we call a neutron. If you want something that is more sustainable, that can stay in a shape, we need something that has a certain tension. So here we have locks that lock the loop in position. For this to happen, it needs to have some kind of tension. So I'm going to draw an additional loop that goes down here and touches. So we can imagine this as the simplest loop. And so this has 1, 2 loops. And we can call that the neutron and the proton and the neutron. And these we call electrons. So if it has 2 electrons, a neutron and a proton, it is quite stable. And this is one of the simplest atoms. We also can call this atom for hydrogen. And of course we can make all kinds of strange atoms. They can stay in place. If we see this from the top, it has this shape. So that's basically how atoms are created. So, if you found this information useful, think about donating some money. You can also donate bitcoins at my webpage, ringhip.com. If you don't have any money, you can share, subscribe to further the study of the ring hypothesis. Thank you.